Hey everyone, right now, there's a huge shift happening deep inside the world of crypto. We're moving away from this old idea that one single blockchain has to do absolutely everything. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what's called the Modular Blockchain Revolution. But before we get into all that, let's just start with the big question that has really been driving this space for years. Can one blockchain really do it all? Can it be incredibly fast, super cheap, totally secure, and completely decentralized all at the same time? To even begin to answer that, we first have to understand the fundamental puzzle that pretty much every single blockchain project out there is trying to solve. And that puzzle has a name, the blockchain trilemma. It's this core idea that you can only ever really nail 2 out of 3 essential features. You've got scalability, handling tons and tons of users. You've got security, making sure the network is safe from attacks. And you've got decentralization, which is all about making sure no single person or group is in charge. For years, everyone's been trying to figure out how to get all 3, and it's been the holy grail of crypto. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've just touched on the big puzzle. Next, we're going to look at the 2 major schools of thought on how to solve it. Then, we'll jump headfirst into the modular revolution, see how all these different chains can actually talk to each other, check out some other cool ways projects are scaling, and then we'll wrap up by looking into the future. All right, this really brings us to the heart of the debate. Should one massive chain do everything by itself, or is it smarter to use a bunch of specialized layers that work together? So on one side, you have what's called a monolithic design. The best way to think about this is like an old-school diner, where one single chef does the whole shebang. They take your order, that's execution. They process your payment, that's settlement. They make sure the kitchen is running smoothly, that's consensus. And they keep a log of every order, that's data availability. But on the other side, you have the modular approach. And that's more like a modern food hall, right? You've got different stalls, each specializing in one thing. One makes the pizza, another just does the drinks. Each one is an expert at their one job. And this visual really drives that point home. See that solid block on the left? That's your monolithic chain, trying to juggle all 4 of those jobs at once. But the modular approach on the right literally breaks that block apart. It creates specialized, separate layers for each function. And that idea of specialization, well, that's the key to this whole revolution. So theory is great, but how does this whole modular thing actually look in the real world? Let's dive into what people are calling the modular revolution by taking a look at a really important project that's leading the way. Let me introduce you to Celestia. Now, if we're sticking with that food hall analogy, Celestia isn't one of the food stalls. Now, Celestia is the company that provides the giant shared refrigerators and pantries for everyone. Its only job is something called data availability. It basically acts as a massive, super secure hard drive for other blockchains, just making sure all their transaction data is published and available for anyone to check. By offloading that one single task, it makes it so much cheaper and faster for new chains to launch. And if you're wondering if this is a real problem that needs solving, just look at these numbers. This is why a project like Celestia is so critical. You've got these huge Layer 2 blockchains, ZK Sync, Arbitrum, Optimism, paying out millions and millions of dollars every month just to post their data to Ethereum. This is proof that there is a massive market for exactly what the modular ecosystem wants to do, but more efficiently. Okay, so we've got specialized chains. One is great at data, another is amazing at executing transactions. But that's only half the puzzle, right? How do you stop them from just becoming a bunch of disconnected islands? How do they all work together? Well, that's where a project like Cosmos comes into the picture. Its entire mission is to build the Internet of Blockchains. It has this amazing piece of tech called the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, or IBC for short, that allows completely independent blockchains to securely communicate with each other. They can swap data, they can send assets back and forth, almost as if they were all part of one giant single network. And the Atom token is what's used to secure the central hub of it all. But for this Internet of Blockchains to really work, new chains have to be secure right from the get-go. And building up that security on your own is incredibly difficult and expensive. That's where this brilliant idea of shared security comes in. Instead of a new project having to build an army of defenders from scratch, they can just rent security from a huge established chain like the Cosmos Hub. And Cosmos has really pioneered 2 fascinating ways to do this. On the left, you see replicated security. That's a top-down model. Think of the big Cosmos Hub as a central bank, lending its entire security force to protect these smaller consumer chains. Then on the right, you have mesh security, which is more of a bottoms-up, grassroots approach. This is where chains of similar size can agree to help secure each other, creating this incredible web of mutual defense. Now, it is really, really important to remember that this modular, many-chain future isn't the only vision out there. The monolithic chains haven't been sitting still. Some incredibly powerful projects are finding their own unique ways to solve that trilemma. Let's look at two fantastic examples. First up, you've got Sui, a layer 1 that is just built for pure speed. Its secret sauce is called parallel transaction execution. Instead of processing transactions one by one in a single line, it can handle a whole bunch of them at the same time, in parallel. This is a total game changer for stuff like Web3 gaming. Then you have Near Protocol, which is all about scaling and making things easy for users. It uses a technique called nightshade sharding, which is like taking a single highway and splitting it into many smaller parallel lanes, or shards, to handle all the traffic. This keeps things moving fast and keeps costs low, even as more people use the network. So what we have are these two competing visions for the future. One is a world of many specialized interconnected chains. The other is a world with a few highly optimized superchains. Let's try and wrap this all up by thinking about what it all means. I think this quote from Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, just nails the end goal of the entire modular idea. What he's saying is you can have a small, hyper-efficient group of specialists actually producing the blocks. That's the centralized part he mentions. That's okay, as long as their work is being constantly checked and verified by a massive, global, decentralized network of validators. You get the best of both worlds. You get speed and efficiency without ever giving up on that core promise of security. And that really leaves us with the ultimate question for the next decade of crypto. Is one of these monolithic superchains going to eventually solve the trilemma all on its own and win out? Or is the future going to look more like a vast, interconnected, and modular web of thousands, maybe even millions, of specialized blockchains, all working together in harmony? Honestly, there's no clear answer yet, and that's what makes this whole space so fascinating to watch. Thanks so much for tuning in. And just a quick reminder, of course, the cryptocurrency is highly volatile. This information was for educational purposes only, and it's definitely not financial advice. Please do your own research. We'll see you next time.